Once upon a time, there was a girl with no name. She lived in the landlocked country of Gorlin, in a small cabin, with a very old man who was her keeper and only friend. She was not unloved nor very lonely, for the whole of the world sang to her, but she had her share of difficulties. It was not uncommon in this time for women to die in childbirth, and this was the fate that claimed her mother. Her mother had every intention of naming her, but she had waited for two things that never happened. She had waited to look in her child's eyes, and she had waited for her husband to return from his journey. But through the long months, her child grew inside her. She sang to her daughter every day and told her secrets and stories that were still buried in the girl's soul. The first person to look in the child's eyes, other than the midwife, was the elderly man who was to keep her. He thought it proper that she be named by one of her parents, so he also waited for her father to return. In the meantime, he called her Little, and that worked well enough. The girl's father had every intention of returning. He had left his most precious possessions in the care of his new wife and their elderly friend, and taken only the bare essentials for his journey. Like many in Gorlin, he had heard the story of how their western desert had more than doubled in size overnight. Unlike many in Gorlin, he had a guess as to why. Perhaps if he had known he had a daughter coming, he may not have gone at all. But it is hard to say. No one plans to be murdered. No one expects the companion who had fought hard against wind and wave by their side, for weeks on end in a small boat, to reach a shore abandoned 3 centuries ago by their ancestors, to show such treachery. But a black heart had been hidden behind an unassuming face and mild manner. The one advantage of the girl's father never being aware of her was, it kept her existence a perfect secret from the black-hearted man as well. Little and her keeper led a quiet life. Her parents had left her no great wealth in gold, but a healthy stack of 20 or so books, many of them on magic. But 2 were handwritten journals about her father's travels. To the girl, they were a great treasure. You've just heard the prologue from Before the Fairy Tale, The Girl with No Name, by Iscah, read by Reuben Marley.